Welcome to the Star Rating for Schools video course. If you just heard about Star Rating for Schools, you might be asking, how can I get started? One of the first steps is identifying an assessment team, a group of people that will learn in depth how to use the Star Rating for Schools tools. Another important point that should be addressed from the very beginning of the project is understanding who are the stakeholders and how they can be engaged, just so that they keep as partners and champions of the project throughout its course. Another important point that's important to have in mind is making sure that you have a partner, different organizations or stakeholders that can help improve the roads around the school. This means not only assessing the safety at these streets, but implementing the life-saving treatments that can make these locations much safer for pedestrians walking to school. Our suggestion is to incorporate Star Rating for Schools as part of your efforts to improve safety around schools. There are many components that should be taken into consideration when you are assessing safety around the school and working to improve safety there. But here are just some of the basic general components that might be part of your project. It's very interesting to make sure that you are addressing all of these points just so that you can have a successful project. Another common question is, how much time do I need to implement my project? In order to participate in the full Star Rating for Schools video course, you might need 6 to 8 hours, including the videos and also the assignments. For the stakeholders' engagement, this process can take from 1 to 6 months, but it can be quicker or take longer than this, depending on the connections that you already have with these different stakeholders. The Star Rating for Schools assessment for each location might take between 20 minutes and 1 hour. And the road improvements can be implemented in general in 1 to 6 months. But this is something that might also take longer or be quicker depending on the engagement of your stakeholders in the project. And how many schools should you include in your project? You can start with a pilot of 1, 5, or 10 schools, for example, to show the importance of the project and the impact of the solutions to the community. And then you can expand your project to other schools, potentially even to all schools in your city. How many and which locations to assess around each school might depend on how complex this area is and how many attraction points are for pedestrians around this area. For example, bus stops or a supermarket. In the full Star Rating for Schools video course, we explain into more details how you can select locations for assessment. Another suggestion is to use tools as the Youth Engagement app, which is also presented in the full Star Rating for Schools video course. And the crucial question, how much does it cost to use Star Rating for Schools as part of your project? Thanks to the support of our donors and global program partners, we are able to provide free access to our training courses. So you can access Star Rating for Schools video courses at your own pace with no charge. The same to access the Star Rating for Schools tools. You can download the Star Rating for Schools app or access the Star Rating for Schools web app with no costs. The quality review is an important process to make sure that all the results that will be generated on Star Rating for Schools will be reliable and consistent. This involves the time of someone very experienced in the methodology, assessing your assessments so that you can make sure that your coding is also complete and adequate. This might depend on the number of locations. If you tell us that you want to do one pilot with one school, for example, you might not have a cost associated to that. But if you are planning to assess 50 or 100 schools, for example, then you might dedicate some resources to get someone to test your different assessments and make sure that they are consistent. In terms of implementing the road interventions, this is something that depends a lot on how complex a location is and how complex are the solutions that should be implemented there. But the experience of Star Rating for Schools partners shows that in general, these assessments and improvements can cost from $2,000 to $30,000, for example. The quality review is a very important process to make sure that we will have consistency and the same level of quality around the world. It's important to remember that the quality of the data that you will get with the Star Rating for Schools depends on the quality of data that you are adding to the system. After conducting an assessment for each of the locations on Star Rating for Schools, you will see a button called Submit Location for Review. If you need your locations to be reviewed, you can check in our website the list of accredited partners that can provide you quality review. You can also get in contact with IREP, or if you have a large number of assessments, for example, you can get accredited as a quality reviewer. This is something that is discussed into more details in the session Starting for Schools Quality Review. To select the people that should be involved in the Starting for Schools video course, you don't have to select only engineers or technical people. The tool is quite simple, and we make the process just so that you can understand from the beginning how to create data with the system and how to generate the results. For each of the modules, we have pre-reading materials, videos, and assignments. It's very important that you complete all of them to have the full understanding on how the tool works. The course is self-paced. This means that you can watch the videos and do the assignments at your own pace. At the end of the course, when you complete the training, you receive a certificate of Starting for Schools. If you want to register to the Starting for Schools video course or get someone from your team registered, you can access irep.org/training and access our training registration form. In this form, you can select in the course Starting for Schools online course in the different languages that we provide, and in the payment method, you can choose free webinar. Feel free to share this invitation to any partners and stakeholders that might be also interested in hearing into more details how Starting for Schools works. After you register in the Starting for Schools video course, you will get access to the learning platform Moodle. On Moodle, you will find the videos, the assignments, and supporting materials for each of the lessons discussed throughout the course.